Okay, Srimad. So I'm very happy to welcome you all to today's session. We are in the middle of celebrations. This is a time of the year where we have one celebration after the other, right? We first finished Sharada Navaratri. Then came immediately after it came the Sharad Purnima. Then the Karwa Chauth. Now the Dhanteras, and we are in the Diwali days right now. Today is the Naraka Chaturdashi. Tomorrow is the Lakshmi Puja. So we're literally on back-to-back celebrations at this time of the year. So, what more auspicious time it could be for me to bring this topic in today's session? When we say Sharad Purnima, in Lalita Sahasranama, Ambal has been defined by the Vagdevatas as Raka Sasivadane, right? Rakendu Vadana Sarachandra Nibanana. Sharad Purnima holds a sacred and special significance when it comes to Sri Vidya Upasana. Why is Sharad Purnima so auspicious? When we say Sharad Purnima, it is referring to the full moon on the fall season, during the fall season. Sharad Ritu, Ritu means season. So when you look at the Paurnami during the fall season, the sky will be very clear. You won't see any blemishes. You can directly see the moon. And the Amrita Kirana of this moon is directly falling. And we can feel that calm, serene vibes that is coming, which is actually a symbolic representation of Parambika's face, the beautiful face filled with compassion and love. That is why every Shakti Upasaka have touched this topic and called her and defined her as Sarad Chandra Nibanana. Even Acharya in Saundarya Lahari, Sarad Josna Jutam, he put in complete slokam starting with Ambal's face being the Sarad Chandra. Muthuswami Dikshitar, one of the Carnatic composers, he has taken in one of his favorite kirtana, Raka Sashivadane. It's completely a full moon that is white in color and beautiful. That's what he's comparing Ambal's face to. That is the significance of Sarat Chandra when it comes to Shakti Upasana. When we say Lalita Tripura Sundari, she is also Padmanabha Sagodari, right? So Vishnu, in one of the avatars, Krishna Avatara, he has done the Rasa Leela on the banks of river Yamuna, along with all the Gopikas who were completely devoted to him on this auspicious day of Sharad Purnima. That is another significance of Sharad Purnima. It is significant from both Shakti as well as Krishna Bhakti. So that's the significance of the Sharad Purnima. The minute we hear Rasa Leela, the immediate thought that comes to all our mind is Krishna dancing with all the Gopikas who are in love with Krishna. That's the immediate general thought process that comes to all our mind. It is just an outward view of it. That is why we have to look at Rasa Leela through Srimad Bhagavatham and Narayaneeyam and how it has been described in both these sacred scriptures. That would be the topic for today, Rasa Leela through Srimad Bhagavatam and Narayaneeyam. When we say Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam was composed by Vyasa and narrated by Sukha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Vyasam Vashishta Naptaram Shakte Pautrama Kalmasham Parasaratmajam Vande Shukatatam Taponitim. When we say Shuka, anyone who knows who Shuka is? The one who finished the Vishnu Sahasranamam classes?
Is it the Krishna's friend?
That is Sudama.
Dhamma,
Sukha is actually the son of Vedavyasa. Vyasam Vashishta Naptaram Shakte Pautrama Kalmasham Parasaratmajam Vande Shukatatam Taponidim. So Vyasa is the father of Shuka, and Shuka Maharishi was born to Vyasa, and he is the one narrating this. Vyasa is the one who composed the uh, Srimad Bhagavatam, also known as Bhagavata Puranam. Shuka Brahmam is narrating this to Parikshit Maharaja. Anyone who knows who Parikshit Maharaja is?
The last king, right, of Yadav Kula.
That's correct. Not the Yadava Kulam, but he is actually the son of Abhimanyu, grandson of Arjuna. He was the last son, and he had one son, Janamejaya. But Parikshit is the grandson of Arjuna and the son of Abhimanyu. But he had a curse that he will be killed by a sarpam, in 7 days. So Shuka Brahmam he's reaching out to Shuka Brahmam asking for Nama Sankirtanam. That's when Shuka Brahmam is narrating this entire Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaja. But when we say Shuka Brahmam, I did mention he is the son of Vyasa. There is a Purva Katha for Shuka Brahmam. Shuka was once a parrot tamed by Radha. And Radha used to always tell the love and affection and the devotion and bhakti that she had for Krishna over the period of time. Shuka, being a parrot, hearing, and hearing, he became an adherent devotee of Radha and Krishna. That is the Purva Katha for Shuka, and he is the narrator here. So we know the context of what is the devotion that he has towards Radha and Krishna. When it comes to Parikshit Maharaja, as he was going through the last 7 days of his life, he completely renounced everything. He was a king, right? He completely renounced everything. And he only wanted to get this Nama Sankirtanam from Shuka Brahmam, completely immersed in bhakti. So it's like one Bhakta of Radha Krishna is narrating the Bhagavatam to another devotee who is Parikshit Maharaja. I'm just providing the context so before we go into Raas Leela, so we'll have a complete understanding of what Raas Leela is about. That's the thought process. So that is with Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's being told, Nigama Kalpa Taror Galitam, Phalam Shukamukad Amrita Drava Shamyutam, Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam, Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. Srimad Bhagavatam is just not merely a sculpture. Galitam Palam, it is told as a ripened fruit of composed by Veda Vyasa because it has the definition of all the Vedas in a detailed way. And when it comes from Shuka's mouth, it feels like an amritam. And whoever is consuming that, they will be completely immersed in bhakti towards the end of it. That's what the definition of Bhagavatam says in this sloka. So we can clearly understand what is the base or the context here. This is for Bhagavatam. How about Narayaneeyam? Narayaneeyam, anyone who knows who's the composer for Narayaneeyam? The answer is in the question. The composer of Narayaneeyam is Bhakta Melpathur Narayana Bhattathiri. He is generally called as Bhattathiri, but his name itself is Narayana Bhattathiri. He's the composer of Narayaneeyam. And when we say Narayana Bhattathiri, he was composing this entire dasakams of Narayaneeyam sitting on the mandapam of Guruvayur, the temple of Guruvayur. Bhattathiri was suffering from Vata Roga, rheumatoid arthritis. So he is actually composing the Narayaneeyam, which is when we say Srimad Bhagavatam, it has 18,000 slokams closely to it. So Narayaneeyam, Bhattathiri is condensing that, and he's giving us 100 dasakams. Each has 10 to 12 slokams, close to 1030 slokams in there. That is what Narayaniyam is all about. And in that, Bhattathiri is defining every avatar as it is defined in the Bhagavata Purana. And he is asking at the end of each dasakam that the one who came to help Prahalada when he was questioned about your presence, the one who came to help eh, Sudama when he was not even asking for any help, just by the look of it, you understood what he was here for. One who gave the moksham for Ahalya, one who gave the moksham for Sabari. Can't you not look at me? And is it difficult? Who did this, all these Leela? Is it difficult for you to cure this simple ailment of Vatarogam of mine? Can't you not look at me? Is what Bhattathiri is requesting for, completely dipped in the Bhakti Rasa. That is the beauty of Narayaniyam. And when we say Narayaniyam, the very first verse of Narayaniyam goes, Sandranandavabotatmakam anupamitam kaladesha vidibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamasadasagashrena nirbhashyamanam aspashtam dristamatre punaruru purushat atmakam brahma tatmam tattavat Bhakti Sachat Guru Pavanapure Hanta Bhakyam Jananam. Starting from that, he has written 1030 slokams continuously, dasakams after dasakams, defining the beauty of Bhagavan Krishna and sitting in front of the small Guruvayur Krishna. That is how he has composed this entire Narayaniyam. And he has also defined Rasa Leela in detail. Both Srimad Bhagavatam and Narayaniyam, after all the avatars has been defined, towards the end comes the Krishna Avatara, and in Krishna Avatara, towards the end comes the Rasa Leela. So it's like best is saved for the last. So they have given so much of significance and background for us to understand what Rasa Leela is about. Not merely looking at it as a dance performed by Krishna with all the Gopikas around. And when Krishna has been requested by Narayana Bhattathiri, he's mentioning about all of this, right? All the leelas that he has done. And can't you not look at my Vataroga is what he is asking for. That's the difference between, if you think about Rama is called the Maryada Purushottam, right? You always provide respect to Rama. Whereas with Krishna, you can play with Krishna, you can complain with Krishna, you can even tie Krishna. That's what you have been completely seeing. Krishna Avatara is called Prema Avatara. The concept itself is the Bhagavan is easily accessible by you. That is the concept of the Avatara. Whereas Rama is not that, Narasimha is definitely not that. But when it comes to Krishna Avatara, you can easily relate to him, you can easily communicate to him. That's the beauty of Krishna Avatara. And whoever comes close to Krishna Avatara, he has the ability to completely observe him. That is the power of the Krishna Avatara, and that's why it is called the Prema Avatara. When we say Rasa Leela, we are talking about two people here, right? One is Krishna. We already know he is the Prema Avatara. That what is the purpose of that Avatara? The next one who is involved, the other character who is involved is the Gopikas, right? And who are these Gopikas? When we say Gopikas dance with Krishna and Vrindavana, we all know they were in Vrindavana, they were born in Vrindavana. But there is a Purva Katha for Gopikas also. In Garga Samhita, Garga Muni reveals this secret, and also it is mentioned in Harivamsa Purana. Jinasena, the Acharya, is also mentioning the same thought process. They both are revealing the secret about who are Gopikas, who were Gopikas actually. Gopikas, as mentioned by Garga Muni, Garga Muni is the Kula Guru for Yadavas. He is the one who actually named Krishna, who gave the Nama Krishna to Krishna. And when in his Garga Samhita, he writes about the Krishna Avataram and he goes, Shri Maithilinam Kilakoshalanam Tata Shrutinam Rishi Rupa Karanam Tatvat Ayodhya Puravasinam Shri Yajna Sita Vanavasinam. And in Harivamsha Purana, it goes, Ta Sarva Lokabhirama Vibhotvam Tvam Eva Gopi Tanayaha Prapannaha. In both the scriptures, they both are defining Gopikas. And what are they mentioning about Gopikas? These Gopikas are none other than the Mithila Vasis. When Rama first time entered to Mithila to marry Sita, everyone understood he has come to marry Sita. The minute they looked at Rama, they had no other thought than to marry him. They forgot who they were, what they are up to, nothing. The minute they looked at Rama as he entered into the Mithila Nagara, they only wanted to be united with him forever. That's the thought that came to their mind. That is one set of Gopikas. The other set of Gopikas, when Rama went to Vanavasa, as he goes to Vanavasa, in Dandaka forest, as he's walking, all the rishis who were around there, looking at the karunyam that he has, they only wanted to be associated with him. Of course, Bhagavan is a Sarvajnani, and he did mention, I have come as an Rama avatara and I have duties that I have to perform in this avatara. So I'm going to wish you all a boon that you will be born as Gopika and you can unite with me in the next avatara, which is the Krishna avatara. So that is the background of Gopikas. So when we say Krishna danced with Gopikas, we can't directly say someone is dancing with someone. This is Krishna, and these are Gopikas who have been earning janmas after janma to be united with Bhagavan. And those are the ones who are born as Gopikas in the Vrindavana. And those are the ones who are doing the Rasa Leela with Krishna. Understanding this concept, that's why we have to understand Rasa Leela through Srimad Bhagavatham and Narayaneeyam, where Sukha and Narayana Bhattathiri have completely explained how this whole thing got formed. That's the reason it's very important to look at it from that perspective. That forms the base of what Rasa Leela is all about. And when we think about how this whole scene happened, it's not like just like that the Rasa Leela happened. In the Dwapara Yuga, we know Krishna took the avatara and he came and he was having, from the beginning that he was born, it's fully Leela, right? That's why we can see all the episodes after episodes from the time he was born. When the minute he was born, he was carried through the river Yamuna. Yamuna was opening and it is leaving the pathway for Krishna to come. From then on begins all the Leela. We know how many Leelas that he has performed from his childhood, showing the entire universe when Yashoda asked him to open his mouth, or killing the Putana, providing moksham to her. So many episodes, right, that he has done. So entire Dwaraka they are actually looking at these Leelas that is being performed by Krishna, and they are having a simple life, okay? And they are just having a simple life, looking at the Leela that he is performing. And their only wish, as they are spending time with Krishna, they are not thinking anything else other than how will I be with Krishna all the time, always. That's all they are thinking. How much ever of time that they are spending with, they don't feel it is enough for them. And every moment they spent with understanding his smile, his leelas, their longing only deepened. No amount of his presence was ever felt it was enough for them. And at some point, they did not even care about their daily duties. They just wanted to be united with Krishna. Krishna being the Sarvajnani, he understood that, and on an auspicious night of Sharad Purnima, he decided this is the moment. And he lifted his flute and started playing that flute. When he started playing that flute, it was not a simple call, just in flute is, we are hearing a music kind of a thing. It was actually a pull. It was a divine pull of the soul. That's how the Gopikas are feeling. They felt everything needs to be dropped. They were literally dropping everything. Their hearts are pulled by the sweetness and they just want to be with Bhagavan. That's all they can think of. And that starts the beginning of Rasa Leela. It's just the beginning of Rasa Leela. It's not like immediately gets the immediate. There was a dance right after this. This starts the beginning of Rasa Leela, and Shukha Brahman beautifully describes the scene. Drishtva kumudvantam akanda mandalam ramana nabam kunkumarunam vanam chatat komala gopi ranjitam jagaukulam vamadrisham manoharam निशम्य गीतं तदनङ्गवर्धनं व्रजश्रियकृष्णगिरीतमानसाः आजग्मुर् अन्योन्यम् अलोक्षितो मयाः स Sayatra Kanto Javaloka Kundalaha. What does that mean? Drishtam, Drishtva. Krishna, think about in the bank of river Yamuna, Krishna is coming there. It is a Sharad Purnima day, and Krishna is looking at the Yamuna river. The reflection of the moon is falling on the Yamuna river, and the Amrita Kirana of the Yamuna river is falling on all the lotuses that were about to bloom there. As and when the Amrita Kirana is falling, the lotuses are literally bursting and opening, and there is a fragrance that is coming out of the Yamuna river, and it is filling the entire space. The entire face is filled with the fragrance, and that is the moment Krishna decides to play his flute to call all the Gopikas, and he started playing at the very moment he started playing the flute. That is what has been described as Raas Leela in both Bhagavatam and in the Narayaneeyam. And both of them, Brahmam and Bhattathiri, have taken 5 full chapters. It is not like, okay, Krishna played the flute and they all came. They have taken 5 full chapters to describe this entire Rasa Leela episode, and that's why it's called Rasa Leela Panchadashi, meaning 5 chapters. 5 chapters of Rasa Leela, just filled with divine love, where Krishna is standing there calling them. He's just the form of love, the Prema Rupa. And the Gopikas who are literally ready to surrender him to him, they are the ones, they're literally rushing towards Krishna. And when Bhattathiri is looking at it, he's saying Sammurchayantam. The Gopikas are literally becoming mesmerized. They don't even know what they are doing. This entire scene has been described by both Brahmam and Bhattathiri. It goes, Krishna on the banks of river Yamuna, he's playing the flute. And then here on the other side, the Gopikas, they are doing their day-to-day chores. Okay, somebody is cooking, somebody is milking the cow, somebody is giving food to the infant, somebody is serving food to the parents and in-laws. All of them, somebody is wearing jewelry, somebody is wearing a kajal. They are doing their whatever they are doing at that time of the day, right? And when this Venunatham came, they immediately got mesmerized by that pull. They literally dropped everything that they were doing. Literally dropped. They stopped serving the food. They stopped milking the cow. They were just literally rushing. And whoever was wearing the jewelry, Bhattathiri has even given 2 lines about that. Haram nityam babuvi kachana darayanti kanchim cha kanta bhuvi deva samagatatvam. Samagatatvam darayanti. They are rushing to reach you. Bhattathiri says they are rushing to reach you. On that rush, what they are doing, haram. Haram is something that we wear in our neck, right? That's what we wear in our neck. They are wearing that haram as an Udyanam. And whatever that Vodyanam is supposed to be, they're wearing as a haram. They didn't even know what they are doing. They're just literally rushing because they want to go see the Bhagavan, right? At the same time, they are Gopikas, right? Threes. So they want to dress up and go. Even in that rush, they don't want not to dress up. So they want to dress up and go. And somebody is wearing a kajal, the kajal is smudging. The smoky eye was not even a thing there, but they didn't even bother. They just left that thing and they are rushing towards Bhagavan to look at Bhagavan, right? And Brahmam even defines further. He says that the Gopikas who are feeding the infants, attending their husbands, they themselves are having the meals, did not bother about any of this. They were like not even in completely dressed up, but they are literally rushing towards Bhagavan. And they just wanted, all they are thinking about at that moment is, I want to be with Bhagavan. I want to be united with Bhagavan. I want to be in touch with Bhagavan. That's all they are thinking. As these Gopikas are rushing to see Bhagavan, some of them, due to their local circumstances, whatever it could be, they could be handling an aged parent, a little born kid that was just born, right? So they could not go. They did not go and they could not go. And whoever they could not go, Brahmam says, Antargriha gata kashchit gopyo labdva vinirgamaha Krishnam tad bhavana yukta Dadair milita lochanaha. Milita lochanaha means closing the eyes. Milita lochanaha. They are just closing the eyes, being where they were at that point in time. They were closing the eyes and they could not leave their homes. Their physical form stayed behind. Their literal physical form stayed behind because of they are bound to the circumstances. But their minds, their hearts, their very soul had already reached him. They closed their eyes, they completely sat on a meditation. At that point, they attained moksha, is what Sukha Brahmam says. We are all listening to it. Okay, there's some people are rushing, we can understand. But these gopikas, they were doing the day-to-day life and they are attaining moksha. The immediate question that will come to us, right? How is it that possible? The same question came to Parikshit Maharaja also. He was the one who's listening to all this Bhagavatam recitation from Shukha Brahmam, right? So he is asking the same question. He could not understand how these normal people, right, who are like Gopikas, they've only seen Krishna as an tamer of the cows in the Vrindavana. Not, they didn't even know that they are the Paramatma. That's what Parikshit is thinking, right? And they are the village women. How come they can leave all the worldly pleasures and they can, just because they are thinking of Krishna, they can attain the moksha? Is what Parikshit is asking Sukha Brahma. So for him, it seems like they were in utmost love with Krishna. Gopikas were in utmost love with Krishna. Krishna called them by playing the flute, so they are rushing. That's how Parikshit is seeing that. That's how it's been outwardly seen when Raas Leela is talked about, right? That's how Parikshit is also seeing that. So we are not alone. So he is also seeing that way. So he's asking that question. When he asks that question, that is when Sukha Brahmam reveals what is the avatara of Krishna avatara is about. It is completely revealed in that slokam that Sukha Brahmam says, Kamam, Krodam, Bayam, Sneham, Aikyam, Shraudram evacha, Nityam haraur vidadato, Yanti tvan mayatvam hite. What does he say? He's saying that whoever has any emotions towards Krishna, okay, any emotions, okay, be it kamam, be it krodam, be it bayam, be it sneham, whatever they have, Krishna will completely observe them towards him. That is what Sukha Brahmam is saying. So for even if you think that forget the Purva Katha of the Gopikas, they only had prema for Krishna, that prema will make Krishna to completely observe them. If you think about the Krishna Avatara, everything that Sukha Brahmam has mentioned has happened in his Avatara, right? Kamam, Premam, that refers to the Gopikas, what the Gopikas had for Krishna. Krodam is the anger, right? Sishrupala was always had the Krodam towards Krishna, if you think about it. Bayam, Kamsa was always in fear what will happen to him because of Krishna. Sneham, Sudama, somebody referred in the beginning, Sudama. He was all he had for Krishna is the Sneham. Whatever emotions they had, eventually they all became one with Krishna. Kamam, Krodam, Bayam, Sneham, Haikyam, Shraudam. They all became one with Krishna. That is the beauty of Krishna Avatara, says Sukha Brahmam. So even if you think that the Gopikas only had the prema towards him, they still went to the moksha because that they are when you had the prema, you will be completely thinking about Krishna. Even when you had the bayam, Kamsa was only thinking about Krishna, right? So he was only thinking Hari, Hari, Hari. So that's exactly what happened. So he got observed. He got observed by Krishna also. I'm sure most of us would be privy to the story. The Jaya Vijaya, who were the Dwarak Palakas for Krishna, they were once cursed by the Sanat Kumaras, the four rishis, that they would have to, since they were stopped by not to see Bhagavan, they will be sent far away from Bhagavan is the curse that they received. So the Sanat Kumar, the Dwarapalakas, Vijaya and Jaya, are running to Bhagavan asking for, is there an upayam from this? So Bhagavan says, I can't take back the curse, but I can give you two options. Either you can be born in the Bhuloka for years together as my bhakta, and then you can come to me after Janmas, is what they are saying. He's saying. That is the first option. The second option that I'll give to you is you have 3 Janmas. In all these 3 Janmas, you will be born as an enemy to me. Literally an enemy. You will be hating me and you will be a little enemy for me. But you will have 3 janmas, you'll finish it and come back. So you know what they both chose? They both chose to be enemies of Bhagavan because they said, even as a Bhakta, I don't want you to be too far. It's okay, I'll go through the 3 janmas. I'll always be saying your name. If I'm enemy of yours, I'll be always be saying your name. So I'm okay for it to finally come back to you. So we will take that life is what they both said. They are the Hiranyakshas and Hiranyakashipu, Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and Sishupala and Dantavakra in the 3 janmas. And then they went back to, as Jaya Vijaya to Bhagavan back. So that is the beauty of Krishna Avatara. Whoever is against him, he will, in whatever emotions that they have, or whoever is towards him in whatever emotions that they have, he'll completely absorb them. And that's how the Gopikas who were left at the Griha, though they were not in the physical contact with Krishna, they got the moksham just thinking about Krishna. This is about the set of Gopikas who were residing in the home, right? What happened to the one who rushed to the Yamuna river? Did they start the dancing with Krishna immediately? Not really. He is called the Leela Purushottama, right? There is obviously he'll do some Leelas before he gets started with it. That's the reason he has been called as Leela Purushottama. The Gopikas who were like completely filled with love and only had the divine bhaktas towards Krishna, they had just arrived at the banks of Yamuna. They are seeing the beautiful river Yamuna on the Sharad Purnima where Krishna is standing there and playing the flute. Looking at them, you know what Krishna immediately asked looking at them? Oh, all the Gopikas, you are here at this time of the night? It is so dark here. Any animal could come. It is not safe to be here. And you are with the Anya Purusha. You are not supposed to be here at this time of the day. So can you all go back? Is what Krishna is saying. Think about the Gopika's thought process for a minute. He is the one who played the flute and called them all. Now he's saying, why are you here? They were like so upset and they were like literally in anger and they were in distress and their eyes were tearing and they are telling Krishna, Krishna, what do you mean? We have come here for you. We have come here to be with you. And just not that, we left everything behind. We left our day-to-day life. We left what our duties are. We left our dharma and we came here because we do know you are the Paramatma. And that your Aikyam with you is the only thing that we want. We don't want anything else. We don't want to go back to our samsara. Don't tell us to go back. All we need is to be in Aikyam with you, is what they are all saying. And why Krishna asked that question? He is the one who called, of course, right? Why do you think Krishna asked that question? Krishna literally wanted to test all of them. When we say test all of them, that they are ready for Krishna. They're literally ready for Krishna to leave their samsara behind. Literally leave their samsara behind. And are they are ready at that point in time only for Krishna? That is his question that he had. And that's why he asked the question to them. And none of the Gopikas went back. Oh, by the way, my food might be gone bad right now. Let me go fix it and come. No, they did not do that. They clearly understood what is their thought process, why they came here. And they said, we just want to be with you. Nothing else we want. All we want is to be with you. And don't ask us to go back. We will just be here. And that's what they are saying. So that's when Krishna realized the Gopikas have come for the literal Saranagati, and they are not here just for the purpose of coming here, for the sake of coming here. They came here for Sharanagati. He realizes that because he is the Paramatma, right? Whatever you are wishing for, that is why we will have that call from Bhagavan also at times. But what is that we are going to choose is our thought process. Are we going to choose our samsara or are we going to choose the Bhagavan is purely our thought process. And whatever we wish for, I have mentioned this again and again in Lalita Sahasranamam classes as well. Whatever we wish for, if we wish to be, I need a big house, I want to live this Janma very happily as a Upasaka, if you are wishing that, the Parambika or the Paramatma, they will definitely grant you that. But if you think that, no, I don't want any of this day-to-day life or anything, I want to only be with the Bhagavan or Parambika, they will wish that also. So it's purely up to us and what we can ask for. And all they are going to do is to fulfill the desire of the devotee. That's the reason Krishna is asking, what do you want to do? Their desire is not anything else. Their desire is only to be with the Paramatma. And they clearly communicated that to Krishna. So Krishna now calls all of them, calls them into the river Yamuna, and he spends time with each one of them. That's what they wish for, right? That's what they ask for. So he spends time with each one of them on the beautiful banks of river Yamuna, adorned with the Vaijayanti Mala. He moved gracefully among them, singing joyfully, being with them. Think about this entire episode on the banks of Yamuna in the Sharad Purnima. All the beautiful roses have been bursting. Krishna is playing the flute, and all the Gopikas are mesmerized and they are playing with Krishna. Did the Rasa Leela start here? Not really. So Krishna is looking at each one of them as they are spending time with them. Every Gopika that he is spending time with, they are just having a thought at that moment. What is that they are thinking? Oh, the Paramatma, Swayam Krishna, is here because of me. My bhakti is what pulled him towards me. And he's spending time for me. He's here for me. Each of the Gopikas are thinking that he's here for me. The Swayam Paramatma himself, I have that much power in my bhakti that they are here for me, is what each of them are thinking. I've mentioned this during the Sahasranama classes also, right? So when we take the Sahasranama class, before we started the Sahasranama class, during that time also we were invited for chanting the Sahasranama. We went for chanting and we came back. After going through the Sahasranama class or almost in the half of it, when we go to the Sahasranama chanting call, when it's called somewhere else, we'll slightly start thinking, oh, they are all chanting them as slokas, but I know the meaning of it, right? It comes to us naturally. I know the meaning of it. It's called the Vidya Garbam. Okay, and here Shuka Maharishi is giving a beautiful name for that. He goes, Tasam tat saubhagya madam Bhikshamanam cha Keshavaha Prasama Maya Parasa Daya Tatrai Vanantara Diyataya. So he goes, at that point in time, when each of the Gopikas started thinking, they got that Saubhagya Madam, that ego got triggered within them. So he wanted to make sure that the ego is demolished before he gives the complete blessing of his. So what did Krishna do? He literally vanished in the middle of Yamuna when the Gopikas came there to have that Anubhavam with Krishna and they were about to have that Anubhavam with Krishna. He literally vanished within a fraction of a second. Think about what will the Gopikas will go through. That's the whole purpose. They left the life of theirs, that entire samsara of theirs, and they came here rushing towards him. He was there. He was just there. The one that they have been longing for Janmas and Janmas was about to happen. And within a second that he vanished, they could not take that thought process. They could not take that thought process. They became frantic. They were howling. They were crying. They could not. They were searching for Krishna everywhere. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where? What just happened? And they know their leelas, right? So is it all one of his leela? He just called and he's not going to come back anymore. And they were not thinking about, okay, let me go back and come back. They were like literally frantic. They can't take that, accept that fact that he was here just a minute before. Now he is not there. How can I take it? They are not able to bear that pain. We all would have gone through this in one way or the other. I'll give you mentioning in the other day on the class also. Think about for a minute that we are on the line on Tirupati to see the Bhagavan, right? We are literally on the line, and the line is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Until we were in the back of the line, we were waiting. Our thoughts will be somewhere else. Okay, after I finish this, how many laddus I have to buy? How many people I have to distribute this for? Where will we eat the food? When will we go back? All the thought will be going around. But as we are getting closer to the line, we only think about the Bhagavan, right? We only think about the Bhagavan. As we are getting closer and closer and closer, and finally we are there. And the minute that we are there, think about they put the tira, right? That curtain to close, and they say this is some other Kala Puja that has to happen. You will be in. What did just happen here? I was waiting to have that darshan of what just happened here. And you will be literally waiting for that screen to open. How much time it's going to take? You don't know any of that, and we are waiting for the screen to open. And all this noise of Jariganti becomes annoyance to us at that point, right? Why are you telling me I'm not even had that darshan I was about to have? If that is the feeling we have, think about what will the Gopikas who have been waiting for Janmas to go through this with Krishna, they will be going through. No wonder they were crying, right? They were literally crying. They are searching for Bhagavan in all the places. As they were searching for Bhagavan, they literally started enacting the Leelas of Bhagavan. One is literally going and she is like, okay, now I am the Krishna and I am going to play the flute. She's standing in the position and playing the flute, okay, like Krishna. The other one is going and sitting and standing on the head of another Gopika, and she says, I am the Krishna, you are the Kalinga, I'm doing the Kalinga Nartanam. So they are literally thinking themselves as Krishna in utmost bhakti that they were in. One is saying that I'm going to, don't worry, all of you here, when it rains, I'm going to lift the Govardhana and I'm going to protect all of you. They are literally becoming Krishna as they are missing Krishna. And they were running everywhere, looking at every pushpa possible in the Vana, Vrindavana. They are asking Champaka, Tulasi, did you see Bhumi? Did you see where Krishna was? Is he going to come back? Where is he? They are literally searching for him, asking this question, going places after places, looking for him. See, one thing is, it is a very common thing, right? When, um, think about for a minute back in India, when there is a power cut in our house, we generally look at, can you check the next house? They also have a power cut? Okay, then it is fine. We have to make sure that there is a company, right? We are not the only one going around. So the Gopikas are looking at each other. All of you are here. I'm not the only going through this, right? So they are searching for Krishna. As they were searching for Krishna going inside the Vrindavana, they saw few footsteps. The two footsteps. They clearly understood one is in Krishna, another one is a Gopika. They could not bear that jealousiness. Oh my God, how come one of them, they are literally searching for who is that? Is it you? Is it you? Who is that who has gone with Krishna? So when we say Srimad Bhagavatam, in Bhagavatam, Sukabrahmam has not directly mentioned the Nama of Radha. He has not. But after that, whatever recitation that has happened, be it Jayadeva's Ashtapati or even Narayaneeyam, Bhattathiri has mentioned about Radha. But Bhagavatam did not have specifically put that name Radha, and Sukabrahmam has not specifically put that name as Radha, but he has mentioned as a Gopika. So they realize that Gopika is with Krishna. They're following the footsteps. As they are following that footsteps, at one point, the two footsteps becomes one, which means one they only see Krishna's footsteps after a point. So they did the math. They did the calculation. Both of them went together. After a point, Krishna carried her. They got even more jealous, and they were looking at who is, and they are searching and going. On that corner, they see one of the Gopikas sitting there and crying. So they rush to that Gopika and asking, what happened? What happened? So the Gopika is saying, Krishna came with me. At some point, I told Krishna, anyway, you left all the Gopikas and you come with me, right? And now I'm feeling literally tired. I can't even walk anymore. Can you lift me? So that's when Krishna realized what is the garvam that now she has. She feels that she's the one. Krishna left everyone because of her. So Krishna wanted to teach a lesson for her also. So he left there, then and there, and she left. So all the Gopikas are feeling little relieved. Okay, it's not like she only got it and I did not. She is also there. So they were all sitting there. They realized that we have to search for Krishna, and they started doing singing the praises of Krishna. It's called Gopikas Geetam and Narayaneeyam. Bhattathiri has given a chapter for this. They are singing the praises of Krishna completely in devotion, looking for him. Finally, Krishna comes in front of them because they let go of all their ego. They realize it's not me. Because of my bhakti only Krishna came. Everybody's going through the same thing. They realize what is the mistake they made. And now Krishna is coming in front of them. What Krishna wanted to do is Krishna wanted to teach them a lesson of humility and deepen their devotion towards him. That's exactly what he wanted to do. So if you look at, I'm sure I did mention Hiranyakshan and Hiranyakashipu. When Hiranyakshan was killed by Bhagavan, Hiranyakashipu, the uh, father of Prahalada, with the distress that Hiranyakshan has been killed, he's going everywhere looking for Vishnu Bhagavan. Let me take revenge of him. Because at that Janma, he is an enemy of Krishna, right? So he's going, let me take revenge of him. And he's going places after places looking for him. He finally reaches the Vaikunta. He's going and searching for Vishnu Bhagavan. Bhagavan was not there and he's coming out of anger. When it is Vaikunta, Narada is always around, right? He's doing the circling around Vaikunta. Narada was going towards the entrance. And then Hiranyakashipu says, if you find him anywhere, just tell him that I'm looking for him. I will take a revenge. And he was says, and you are coming out of Vaikuntam and you are asking, finding anywhere, go inside, you will find him. I already looked there, he is not there. And Hiranyakashipu rushes there out, right? Then Narada comes in. Bhagavan is very much there. He's very much there, giving his presence to Narada. So Narada goes and asks, did you go somewhere and come back immediately? How come you are here? Just a second ago, Hiranyakashipu was rushing. He was looking at you and he said you were not there, looking for you, and he said you are not there. How come you are here now? That's when Paramatma smiles and he says, I'm always here. I was there when you came. I was there when he came also. He came with an ahankara and krodha that I will the one that I'll be able to demolish Krishna. That ego covered his eye, and I am Swayam present here. He was not able to see me. That is the mistake most of the time when we do, that at somewhere we will think that, okay, I can take care of the situation. When you read everything and do a complete Sharanagati, that's what finally Draupadi did in that Sabha also. Initially, she thought she can save herself. She finally took both her hands and said, Krishna. That's when he came. So when you do the complete Saranagati, letting go of your ego, that is when you will be able to see the Bhagavan. That's exactly what happened to the Gopika. They realized that the mistake that they made, and they finally did the Sharanagati looking for him. Krishna, please come and show your face to us. And he finally came there for all the Gopikas. And he did mention, my intent was not to hurt you or anything. I'm always, I'm always have the compassion and love towards all of you. But I just want to make sure that your ego is no longer there anymore. That's the reason I wanted to teach that lesson for you. You can now be with me. I'm all yours, is what he's saying. It's just a thought process. That is the reason we need to understand why it is important to look at Rasa Leela in the view of Srimad Bhagavatham and Narayaneeyam. In an outward look, it's just a dance. But there is so much of concept that is hidden within this, right? When the Gopika says that, how come you can leave us? How come we came here for you? How come you can leave us? Bhattathiri says in the Narayaniyam, Ai Kumarika Krishna Naiva Sankhyatam Kathanita Mayi Krishna Prema Katharare Mayutu Chetasho Krishna Vonu Vrittaye Kritamidam Mayeti Krishna Uchivan Bhavan. Krishna is saying, Chetaso Mai, I am just coming and disappearing so that you will let go of your ego, and completely be only looking for me, focused on me. It will intensify your devotion. That's the reason I disappear, not for anything else. I don't stop loving you. I will not be able to repay the debt of your spotless service. You left everything, your jiva, your samsara, everything, and you came. I would not stop loving you, is what Krishna is promising all of them. Think about for a second that the moment they were waiting for, finally, after all this, it has to happen. And the moment that they are waiting for is literally going to happen. And Shuka is saying, this is the starting of Rasa Leela. It started with the Krishna calling all of them. Then he's having a conversation with them. confirming that they are ready for him at that point, leaving the samsara and only ready for Krishna. And as they are promising or as they are understanding that and coming towards Bhagavan wanted to make sure they no longer have their ego. And he testified their ego also by disappearing. They completely did the Sharanagati, letting go of their ego. That is when Krishna says, "This is the moment that you all have been waiting for." And the Rasa Leela begins. Shuka and Narayan in the Narayaneeyam, both of them have completely defined the Rasaliya very beautifully. Shuka goes, Ittam Bhagavato Gopyaha Shrutva Vacha Supekshalaha Jahur Viragajam Tapam Tadan Kopachita Tattarabhata Govindo Rasa Krida Manuvritaihi Sri Ratnairanvita Pritaihi Anyonya Baddha Bahubihi. He's saying the viraham and tapam that they had for all these years, they are finally getting a relief from that. They are finally getting a relief from that. Looking at you, Govinda, looking at getting them prepared for the Rasa Krida, all of them, all they want to be in annonyam with them. That's all they wanted for you. So Krishna is now asking all the Gopikas who are rushing towards him to stand in circles. Okay, so they are all standing in circles, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, concurrent circles. Okay, they are all standing there. Krishna is standing in the middle playing his flute, and he's saying, "Please come around me, surround me." And they are all standing in a concurrent circles. And Krishna is saying, "Close your eyes for a second." They are all closing their eyes. Now he says, "Open your eyes." Krishna is only one. There are multiple Gopikas, right? What's going to happen? The minute they open their eyes, they are looking at both their sides. In each side, there is a Krishna. Think about one Krishna itself is, they can't handle that. Every side that they are looking, there is two Krishnas. It's like they're standing in concurrent circles. One Krishna on one side, one Krishna on other side. If you look at the other way, one Gopika, two sides Krishna. If you look at Krishna, one Krishna, two sides Gopika. That's how the concurrent circles of the entire Gopikas have been formed. It looks like such a vision for everybody who's looking at it, right? Think about the bird's eye view of how it will be. On the Yamuna river, the full moon, it is reflecting on the Yamuna river. All the entire Yamuna river is filled with lotuses. Fragrance is completely coming. The middle Krishna is playing the flute. He's taking the music also in his hand. So he's playing the flute. Every other Gopikas are surrounded by Krishna in concentric circles. They are all now performing the dance. They are literally playing and performing the dance of Rasa Krida. Such how much of a vision it would be if we in our imagination, if the vision would be that beautiful, the one who can have a direct vision of that, do you think they will miss it? They did not miss it. All the devatas, they came to see this vision in the Vrindavana from the Devaloka. The Apsaras, all the devatas, Ramba, Urvasi, Menaka, Parvati and Shiva, everyone literally came to have this vision of Rasa Krida. Such a spectacular performance it was. The entire music was playing there. And Indrani, who's looking at the scene, the wife of Indra, she's showering that entire place with different types of flowers. So the flowers are showering from the sky, and the Rasa Krida is literally happening on the banks of River Yamuna. The entire place is just filled with bhakti, love, devotion, and dance. That is what is Rasa Krida. And when this whole episode is being thought through, Narayana Bhattathiri, for a second, he is thinking, I am writing all about Krishna. He's a balaka, probably a 7 or 8 year old balaka. So he's saying, okay, in Bhagavata, all of this is being mentioned. Is it possible for a 7 year old boy to do all of this? He's thinking for a second. For a kshanam, he is thinking. Maybe it is told in Bhagavatam. it would have been the case, is what he is thinking. We are also having a thinking for a second, right? So no wonder Narayana Bhattathiri had that thought. So he's thinking for a second, and he's sitting on the mandapa. I told you, right? He's sitting on the mandapa looking at the Guruvayur temple, and he is sitting there composing the Narayaneeyam. For a second, he thought that entire place was covered with darkness, and all of a sudden he heard a noise that is coming from the Garbhagraham, right? And he was looking at what's going on. And he's seeing a lot of crowd of people suddenly surrounding the Garbhagraham. And he's asking, please move, I can't see. And because he's sitting there, right? He's suffering from Vata Roga. So he's asking all of them to move. So he just wanted to have a vision of the Garbhagraha, and he's looking there. And he sees a Balaka, and that Balaka is turning. As he turns, he sees Krishna there. And Krishna performs the Rasa Leela. In front of Bhattathiri, the whole Rasa Leela was performed by Krishna one more time. That is the um, prasadam that he has given to Narayana Bhattathiri. He's performed this entire Rasa Leela, enacting that for Bhattathiri, for just that one chana doubt that he had, because he knows the bhakti of Bhattathiri, and he's performing this entire Rasa Leela. And as he is performing, the Narayana Bhattathiri is composing that sloka that goes केशपाशधृत पिञ्चिका विटटि सञ्चलं मकरकुण्डलं हारजालवनमालिका ललितमङ्गरागगणसौरभं पीतचेलधृत काञ्चि काञ्चितमुदञ्चितं सुमननूपुरं रासकेळि परिभूषितं तव हि रूपमीश कलयामहे. And he has written 10 full slokams defining the Rasa Leela, literally 10 full slokams. In the slokam, what is he saying? He's having literally a drishti of what is happening there. He's seeing an Madhava who has a curly kesham, right? Waves of his kesham is curly in nature. He's seeing that, on which he's seeing a Mail Pili, the peacock feathers that is completely adoring him. And he's wearing a Makara Kundalam. The Kundalam is literally dancing as Krishna is dancing. And he's wearing an Vanamalika, literally in pearl mala. And he's also wearing sandanam in his entire body, and he's wearing an waistband and chalanga in his hand, in his leg. He's wearing a chalanga that in his leg, and he's dancing, and he's doing the rasakeli in front of Narayana Bhattathiri. And he further goes, Padmanabha, I'm seeing you, that you're dancing with he's seeing the entire vision, right? So the Gopikas are also dancing along with the Krishna. So he's having an entire vision of that. He's seeing they are forming the circles. He's standing in the middle. They are asking them to leave a gap. When Krishna said, the Gopikas immediately listened. They closed their eyes. When they opened their eyes, it's Krishna after Krishna and Gopika after Gopika, each other. And as he is seeing, Narayana Bhattathiri is composing this particular slokam, and he goes, the Gopikas who are literally holding the hands of Krishna, and they are doing the dance of Rasa Krida. The minute they started doing that, even Narada came to see that again. One more time, he wanted the vision of it again, and he came to see it again. And all the Devatas came, and Urvasi, Menaka, Apsaras, whoever mentioned earlier, they all came back again. This whole flowers are being showered again. There is everyone is standing on the Akasam, having that vision there. Everyone is feeling that Rasakeli, Rasadambaram. Such a vision it was. And everyone is completely immersed by how he is looking at, and they were like, can't even take their eyes off. And they are seeing that the Gopikas are dancing again and again and again with Krishna. While this dance is happening, one of the Gopikas, right? That's the beauty of Narayaneeyam that he has mentioned there. One of the Gopikas, they have been dancing for hours together. One of the Gopikas gets little tired. So she's having she's slightly dizzy. So in her tiredness, she's literally putting her head on the person who's next to her. Who is next to her? Swayam Krishna. So she's literally putting her head on Krishna. So the Krishna on the center is looking at it and he's trying to get some Yamuna Jalam so he can put at her face so she will come back. As she's doing that, this Gopika, who's actually having a shelter on Krishna's shoulder, she got her thought process back. She's come back to normal now. But she didn't wanted to take her head off from the shoulder of Krishna. So she's still pretending to be fainting. So Bhattathiri says in his sloka, you standing there, you might not have that vision, but I saw that's what the Gopika is doing, is what the Bhattathiri is saying. I can clearly see that the Gopika is pretending because she doesn't want to get off your shoulders. So that's the anubhavam that Krishna is giving to all the Gopikas, the one that they earned for janmas after janmas. And such a vision it was, nobody can take the eyes off. Bhattathiri has said this complete vision was a feast to our eyes. Anybody who has seen this, they don't want to see anything else in their lifetime. They don't want to have a vision of anything else in their lifetime. And he also goes, this is not a vision that will be available for everybody. Only the yogis can get this vision. Only the yogis and the one who has done that complete devotion and meditation towards Bhagavan will only have that sight of this. Even Shiva and Brahma came and standing there, they are thinking how blessed these Gopikas, Shiva and Brahma are thinking how blessed these Gopikas are to have such an experience with Bhagavan is what they are thinking. And finally, in the last slokam, Bhattathiri completes the Raas Leela in the 11th slokam. There are 11 slokams in that particular dashakam. He goes, Kamini Hriti Yamini Shukalu Kamani Ekani Debavan Purna Sammadara Sarvanam Kamapi Yoga Gamyamanu Bhavayan Brahma Shankramukana Piha Pasupanaga Subahumanayan Bhaktalola Gamaniya Rupa Kamaniya Krishna Paripahi Mam Bhaktalola Gamaniya Rupa Kamaniya Krishna Paripahi Mam Bhaktalola Gamaniya Rupa Kamaniya Krishna Paripahi Mam. That's how he finishes the Rasa Leela. And he says, Bhakta Lola Gamaniya Rupam. That's how the Rupam was. And that is the experience that he gave to all the Gopikas who really wanted to be immersed in devotion with Krishna. That is the Rupam that he showed to all of them, is what Bhattathiri says. And that's how he completes that entire chapters. Here in Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaja, he is a representation of ours, I would think. While all of this is happening, Parikshit Maharaja is asking a question to Sukha. He is asking, yes, I understand he did all of this for the Gopikas who wanted to be with Krishna. But how could have violated the dharma of being with other women? That's the question that Parikshit asks. It's a common question comes when Rasa Leela is being discussed everywhere. So that's when Sukha is responding. He's just not responding to Parikshit Maharaja. He's responding to all of his common souls who has the same thought process towards Rasa Leela. He goes, he is Paramatma for a reason. There is a reason why he is called as the Paramatma. If you think you can do the same thing as what Paramatma did, it doesn't work that way. Sukha literally has a slokam. He says that think about Rudra who drank the Alakala Visha. If you want to do the same thing as Paramatma and if you drink the Alakala Visha, we all know what will happen. When we say Paramatma, he is Paramatma for a reason. Any materialistic action would not tie to Paramatma. Anything that is for us, it might seem like, okay, Krishna is all the Gopikas in love dancing with Krishna. But for him, it's all the bhaktas towards him who want to be aikyam with him. So that is the experience that they wanted. I did mention whatever we wish for, that is what Bhagavan is going to grant. That's what Parambika is going to grant. That is the experience they wanted, and that's the reason he provided that experience to them. And he goes, Anugrahya Bhaktana Manusham Deham Asitaha Bhajate ta drishti krita ya shrutva tat paro He's saying, whenever Bhagavan takes the human form, Whenever, be it the Parambika, whoever it is, whenever they take the human form, it is out of his compassion for his devotees. All of this, it is a leela for them. It is literally a leela for them. And they are doing that leela so that they can draw the hearts of whoever is hearing about them. It's just not for the bhaktas who are around asking for it, whoever is hearing about them. So it will awaken their love, devotion, and they can surrender to Paramatma. That is the thought process. That is why they take the avatara, and that is why they do the leela. It's how Shukabramam is finishing the Rasa Leela episode. Such are his leelas, not ordinary acts. We should not just think like that. They are expressions of compassion to attract every soul back to him. The Jeevatma has to finally unite with the Paramatma. That is the thought process of whenever he does the Leela. There is a lot of compassion and love that is associated with it. And he also, Shukabramam also concludes to say, anyone with faith, there is an underline, with faith, anyone with faith who is listening to this Rasa Leela, they in their life Krishna is entering. The minute they hear to it, Krishna is entering to their life. They're completely occupying their life, and as they keep on doing the upasana towards him, they will be able to conquer their karma. They will be able to let go of their ego. They will be able to do Sharanagati for Bhagavan. And once they do, and once they say everything is Krishna, Krishna, see, up to that point is our effort. We should be letting go of our ego. We should do one complete Saranagati. We should let go of our karma, unwanted desires, as it said in Sanatana Dharma. When we do all of that, that is from our end. But Krishna has to pull us. The last thing is at his end. The Bhagavan has to pull us when he feels we are ready for that. When we do all of that, then he will be pulling us towards him. That's the note with which Sukabrahmam ends this episode. This is a takeaway for all of us to let go of our ego, to let go of our unwanted desires, and do the complete Sharanagati. Automatically, Bhagavan will provide the compassion to us and whatever we wish for. One more time, if you want to be in this Janma, going through this after Janma, he will wish that also. If you want to be united with him, he will be wishing that also. On the beautiful day of Naraga Chaturdashi, I'm happy to bring this topic to all of you. I hope I made some justice. With that note, I'll say Sarvam Krishnarpanam, Sri Matre Namaha.